This slide has been prepared with the help from Professor Penung and our student also, and it date 11 April. So it means that we still do some earthquake damage assessment. So it's still ongoing, and this is what we found. So okay, let's begin. So the earthquake magnitude 7.7 in Myanmar, it might not come as a surprise to many scientists because we know that it's going to come, but we just don't know when. The reason is because along half of Myanmar is locating on this fault line. It's really long fault line, like 1,200 kilometers. We know that it's going to make a major earthquake. And if we look back in the history, like this is upside down, this side is north, this side is south. So this one is the sky fault. It passing through Mandalay, Naypyidaw, and Bangkok, many major city in Myanmar. And this is the time scale, like in 1930, there was 7.2 in 1930, and then 7.3 again in 1930. Actually, these two earthquakes quite strange because the first one occurred in May 1930. The second one occurred in December 1930. And then from the history, like after we have the earthquake magnitude and we can be able to record the earthquake, we know that there was like 1956, 7.1, 1946, 7.7, 1946, 7.3. But this part has been quiet for so long. Before the uh, introduction of the earthquake magnitude, from the history, they said there was a big earthquake in 1839. And it keep quiet until last month, 28 March 2025, it finally come magnitude 7.7. So we call it seismic gap. Seismic gap is mean that it's going to be, we know that that part has been quiet for some time. And from the side, we know that mostly the earthquake on skyfall, the magnitude greater than 7.5, would have the recurrent interval about 100 to 200 years. And we know that it's going to come this one. So it not been a surprise to scientists, but it might be surprise for many people. And another major thing is that if you're looking in this map, the blue is the dense population in Myanmar. So most major city located here. So that's going to cause a lot of casualty right now, about 4,000. And actually, the surprising thing about this earthquake is that this earthquake is really ruptured really long, like from Mandalay to Naypyidaw, passing through two major cities, about 500 kilometers, which is quite long, longer than typical 7.7 earthquake. And this one is the ground motion record that is mean the ground acceleration that could be able to record in Naypyidaw. And this is the up direction because most of the time when we measure the ground motion, there's ground acceleration, is a vector. So we need to measure in 3 axes. So for the vertical axis, it's more than 1g. 1g is like when we sitting on the table, right, it's 1g downward, but now it's 1g upward. So it means that people would like have been thrown up on the sky because it's very strong. And then now we come back to Thailand and Bangkok. Well, what you see here on the screen, the triangle that is seismic station that we have in Thailand, and this is the one in Bangkok. And most of the time we're talking about the seismic that Bangkok really amplify the ground motion or not, like Dr. Kanchari mentioned. So I would like to compare. We have one station in Kanchanaburi, that is in the white triangle. And the top one is the ground motion that we record in Kanchanaburi. That is very closer to Bangkok. This one is in Bangkok. So you can see the amplitude the scale is the same. So in Kanchanaburi, even though it's closer to earthquake, the, the magnitude is just 0.006 G. But for Bangkok, it's amplified to 0.02 G. So it actually amplifies the ground motion. Like people in Bangkok, even though we far away from earthquake than Kanchanaburi, but we would feel it's really larger. Another interesting is that the significant duration, that is how long the ground motion. In Kanchanaburi, it's just 40 seconds, but you look in Bangkok, this scale is 200 seconds. So not only we feel it stronger, but we also feel it longer. So this one for amplification in Bangkok, amplify about 3 times in Bangkok Basin, and the duration also 4 times, because the subsoil would not only amplify the amplitude but also amplify the duration, and that when people fell on the ground, they would feel about 3 minutes. But the people on the tall building, they will feel more than 3 minutes. So this is what people actually feel on Friday, 28 March. And I don't want to play this video again. I think most people already see this one, the building collapse. But I would like to say the one positive thing about this. If you consider that the earthquake is really large, but there's just only one building collapse, and that building is the building under construction. Well, there's still major investigation right now, what might be the cause, but well, if we look to many parts, other buildings still fine. But the other thing also is like people gathering on the street after the earthquake because they did not feel safe about the earthquake from that building. So this is the thing that the authority need to think in the future what they're going to do about it. And then the Bangkok Skytrain shaking. This is the first time that people really see this one. We have been telling the authority for many years that this could happen. But the scenario seemed too hard to believe. So most people still not quite believe what they're seeing. And then there's some sky bridge on the high-rise building that break. Actually, this is not that, how to say, we did not expect that, because when we design the high-rise building and the bridge that connect between the two towers, we not connect it together perfectly. So when the two structure move and not at the both structure have different natural period, they're going to move away from each other and then collapse and then break. This could happen. And then some tower crane collapse due to the earthquake also. And then some water spill from the rooftop pools. So people in Bangkok, they feel many things, like highway shaking. So this have been something like traffic congestion after that due to the stop of the SkyTrain and then stop of the public transportation like subway also. So on Friday, everybody see that people moving on the street to go back home. So this even though this thing happened, but we still need to think that we still quite lucky that only one building collapsed. Well, one thing that we need to emphasize is that in Bangkok, we do have the seismic design standard. And what the graph show here, that Dr. Kanchai already showed before, is that mostly the building in Bangkok, they will design with the DBE level here. That is still higher than the one that we observe. Like from 1 to 3 sec, that is mostly the natural period of 20 to 50-story building. So actually it's still lower than what we recommend. This one is 5% damping, but this one is a 2.5% damping that is for tall building. So we actually expect this. And then this is the observed spectrum from other different locations.
เนี่ยมันไม่ได้เยอะแต่มันก็คือเราไม่ได้เจอว่ามัน
And after the earthquake, we do have the site investigation,
แล้วก็
like we separate the earthquake affect building to green, yellow, and red. We still on process in order to investigate how many buildings be in red or in yellow or in green. Right now, what we have is that most of the building, like almost 500 building, is still in green, 42 building in yellow, and 2 building in red. So this is what we got right now. And this is the spatial location of this building that we have in the database. So this data is still growing that we still observe. So it need to see that what is the real number. This one is still investigated. This is the example of the red building. Like this is the 25-story hospital building. On the first floor, you can see the shear wall damage due to the earthquake. We need to say that this building has been built like 20 years ago, so the seismic design standard is still not quite good. And this is some significant structural damage for the hospital. This hospital needs to be closed and some retrofit work need to be done. Some more photo on this building. And mostly we're going to observe it on the 3rd floor and 1st floor because the base shear will be very high in that location. So, well, I'm not going to go through all the structural damage part, but just to show what we observed. So I would not take too long. So I would say, summarize that in the conclusion, Bangkok station amplify both amplitude and duration comparison to the location outside the basin. Seismic design spectrum, the one that we recommend, still higher than the observed in Bangkok. High spectral acceleration could be observed at low damping. Low damping like 2.5% or 1%. This is major concern for the tall building. So we learn a lot. Right now, we learn a lot from this earthquake also. So we're sure that we're going to come up with a new seismic design standard with all the new information that we have here. And what we recommend in the future is that the seismic retrofit and design should be considered for existing and future building in tall building in Bangkok. That would be all for me. Thank you.